Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review, The Watchers. Make sure you see, this is the 2024. It's being released. It's a horror film. It's one of those movie titles that there's probably dozens of movies with the title The Watcher or The Watchers. I mean, way back when, there was something called Watcher in the Woods, I think, or Something Wicked This Way Comes. Oh, geez, my light just went out. What the hell? Oh! Anyway, so should you see this movie? If you're a horror fan, I think this is a good one to see. If you're not a horror fan, I would even say this movie does not go terribly heavy on the gore. It's not terribly bloody. Yes, there is violence. Yes, there is blood. Yes, there is suspense, but it's not a gore fest. So if you have a squeamish belly, you can probably go see this one if you want to. It's a non-horror fan-friendly horror film. And, once again, if you're a horror fan, I think there's enough story here and enough interesting stuff to keep you rollicking and rollicking. I'd probably give it a nice 3.5, 3 3/4 out of 5 star. Okay. I believe there's a lady, I guess she's getting a lot of work these days. She's a woman that's in this film that I think I just saw her in Tarot, maybe a month or 5 weeks ago, and I think Tarot is still playing, believe it or not. So this woman, I don't know her name off the top of my skull, but good for her. She's having a career resurgence, as they say, whoever she is. And, you know, what's the movie about, you might be asking? Well, you know, you have your backstory. You have this young blonde bimbo, or just a woman, blonde, female, and she has a tragic past. When she was a child, her actions led to her mother's death, and she is guilt-ridden for the rest of her life. And she works at a pet store. And she's got, spoilers by the fucking way, so she's got this bird that she's supposed to take to some Ireland fucking whatever the fuck, some Ireland woodlands or Ireland place. She's driving along, and her I like this when movies now, when they kill the phone service, like that's good, you know, because the old cop-out, the old, well, why don't you just call somebody for help? Like, you've got to address that now in films. Back in the day, when you didn't have these wonderful devices, you know, you didn't have that option in a movie or in real life to just call for fucking help. You had to deal with things like a man or a woman on your own. Now we have these wonderful devices. Any question you have, you can Google it, or you can whatever the fuck it. But if you kill the cell phone reception, it's a good movie technique. So they do that. Then she ends up, her car breaks down, her vehicle. Look at my wonderful hair, by the way. God, I could sell this hair for millions of dollars. She ends up in the woods with her bird. The car's all fucked up. She gets out of the car to look for help. And then she goes, she's talking to the bird. The bird device is pretty nice because, hey, I rhymed. And it's no crime. She's got this bird that she can talk to because the bird occasionally repeats things. So it's nice that she has her Wilson, you know what I mean? Her castaway Wilson, Tom Hanks, the volleyball, which was named, by the way, after his wife, Rita Wilson, and also the fact that it's a Wilson volleyball. But in any regard, she's talking to the bird, and so we get some nice exposition, meaning we get to know this lady in a matter of moments. Also, she's a bit of a tawdry slut. She has a nice little one-night stand with some interesting bloke, some guy. She puts on a wig. She pretends to be a ballerina, and she fornicates. But we don't get to see a nice hot sex scene. We don't get that priviness. I think this movie was rated PG-13. If they did give us that priviness, it would probably be rated R. But we don't get the fun. So we move on, and she ends up in the woods, and she starts hearing all this craziness and these bats or whatever the fucks. And then this, that lady I was telling you about, that old woman who's in everything now, Tarot and now this, she, come, you have 5 seconds to get to the door to save your life. And she actually gets in at the count of 2, which I thought was interesting. Like, she doesn't get down to 1, she gets in at 2. Then she meets these other characters. So the blondie is named Mina. Then you have the old lady. Then you have I don't know, other lady, and then you have the dude, the guy. And so we have these 4 people, and they're supposed to stand there perfectly straight and look in this one, is it a one-way mirror? I guess it is. They were supposed to look in this one-way mirror to be inspected by the watchers, who basically just are like weirdos. They just like to watch. And so they're kind of like on this little reality show. In fact, they have a nice little comparison to a reality show, The Lair of Love. They do find this DVD, which is like their only DVD, and they have this old DVD player and a TV, and they're watching The Lair of Love, which was kind of a funny little insert. I thought it might be interesting if for those that saw the movie, if the TV show within the movie like kind of came to life or somehow intercrossed, that might have been a nice payoff, but that never happened. But I did find those moments in The Lair of Love to be humorous. We do eventually see these watcher creatures. They're basically, I mean, it's like, I guess there's only so many things you can do with monsters or creatures, but they all seem to like go back and forth between walking on 4 legs, walking on 2 legs. Their limbs elongate, meaning get longer. These particular watchers are shapeshifters. They're changelers. They can take on the face of someone that they're stalking type of deal. So we experience that. Then we have this whole fucking hole in the ground, and we discovered 1992, and this professor was trying to study these hybrids of fairies and humans and all this horse shit. So we have a pretty dense little story, not dense as in dummy, but dense as in thick. So a lot of things to work out here. I probably missed some things. I probably don't care because I have my own life to lead. I can't just sit here and analyze horror movies like an asshole. Look at all my wonderful artwork. If you fucks could go to one artist, Mike Messier, you'll get to see all my artwork as it's progressing. People are saying I'm the greatest artist of all time. People are saying, my God, this is a revolutionary individual in the art world. My God, who is this gentleman? Well, one artist, Mike Messier, all the wonderful compliments, yet there's very few subscribers to one artist, Mike Messier. You people need to do your part here. All you have to do is go on goddamn YouTube, which you're on every day anyway, and just look up one artist, Mike Messier, and kindly fucking subscribe. I shouldn't have to beg like a goddamn dog for a biscuit. But in any event, go to one artist, Mike Messier, subscribe. You can even buy some of my fucking art. Instead of being just enjoying it for free, actually purchase it. Okay? Help pay for the goddamn paint. Anyway, so I thought this movie was good. I did enjoy myself. I did get to the theater. This particular theater, I mean, if you wanted to be a person that didn't pay for your movie tickets, this would be the theater to come to. Just the way that the auditorium is, or the lobby is set up, they never have like, not never, but very rarely do they have someone checking your actual ticket. It's like you have to go to the concession stand to check in, and I have the app, of course, so I'm doing my diligence. I'm getting my tickets in advance. But lo and behold, they don't really do a good job of enforcing anything here. It's just a madcap adventure. So, I mean, if you were to be a bum of the world and wanted to see free movies, this would be the theater to come to. But, of course, I do have my movie tickets because I have all the subscription apps. So, anyway, I get into the theater. I go to the back row. I have my back row seat that I want. I'm noticing, like, okay, there's nobody else, but there's one other person in this row. They're far away from me. So I kind of move in a couple of seats into the circle, into the center. And then 20 goddamn minutes into this movie, a trudgery group of rotten, filthy teenagers come in. I don't know if they were actually official ticket buyers or if they were coming in off the streets or something. But they come in with the fucking phones for the lights. Come on, assholes. Back in my day, we tripped over ourselves. We fucking walked in the darkness to find a seat. But these kids need their goddamn phones. So they come trudging up. And I'm like, okay, do these asshole kids actually get tickets? Am I sitting in one of their fucking seats? Because it can't just be like 2 or 3 children or kids. It has to be like 9. And then I'm like, I'm starting to fucking move to give these fucks the chair. The guy's like, oh, the kid, whatever the fuck. He's like, no, man, you're cool. Okay, thanks. Thanks for telling me what I already know, Junior. And so they all fucking sit there. And of course, there's giggle fucking. And they're still got their goddamn phones on. And eventually they kind of settled in and were somewhat respectful, but I just couldn't tolerate them. I was just like, okay, I'll wait for a break in the action. I don't want these little goddamn children to feel bad. But I just properly stood up and moved. So I moved down quite a bit, and it's like, hey, look, they weren't bad kids. They're just kids seeing a movie, but just the talking, the giggling, the whatever the fucking, of course. And I'm like, how are you fucking kids going to fully appreciate this goddamn movie when the movie's been playing for 20 minutes? So obviously they had seen another film and were doing the sneaker in deal, or they were just debating which fucking flavor of fucking soda to put in their goddamn beverage cup so that they got into the theater so late. Anyway, I can't solve the world, you know what I mean? I try, and the world doesn't want to be solved. So I just let these youths of America do their thing. I went down, got a nice solitary seat, enjoyed the movie, and thought it was good. So is it the world's greatest horror film? No. Is it The Exorcist? No. Is it Poltergeist? No. But it's not a piece of crap. It's well worth watching. I don't know. At the end of the movie, it said something to it said written by, was this M. Night Shyamalan's daughter? Did she write and direct this? Is this the routine? It seemed like that. I mean, because, I see all these movies, and I thought I heard something about M. Night Shyamalan has a daughter now, and she's making horror films, you know what I mean? So goody for her. But if this was her movie, I don't know if this was her debut film or if she's made other films, but it was good. So I enjoyed her movie, and she can cast me in her next film. That'll be box office. But I thought the movie was fine and pleasant, and it was scary enough to be a horror film. And like I said, it wasn't a gore fest. It wasn't Chainsaw Charlie. There are some other good horror films that I've reviewed recently. The Strangers Part 1, the one with like the kind of the Michael Myers gimmick. God, that one's playing again. I thought about seeing that one again. But there's a lot of good horror movies out there these days. So if you are a horror fan, now is the time to be alive. And that's it. You can always enjoy on One Man and a Camera Films. That's my other YouTube channel, Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. I told the gentleman to watch that movie. He never watched it. He's like, oh, I don't like zombies. Okay, asshole. Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. A, it's a documentary. B, there's no fucking zombie in the goddamn movie. So just people are such goddamn idiots. It's hard for me to live in this world at times because I feel like I'm swimming in a pool full of bricks, just dealing with people that just make up their own goddamn thoughts. And it's like, your thoughts are so incorrect. How can you even live? But anyway, I do my best. I suffer through, just acknowledging the suffering can sometimes make me feel better. It's just, swimming in concrete of other people's ignorance and stupidity. Yet, somehow I make a wave. So that's it, folks. MikeMessier.com. This wonderful film. Go see it or don't. You can enjoy Stickman on One Man and a Camera Films. For all you pro wrestling fans, you might want to go to One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. And you can do all these wonderful things. So that's it, Mike Messier.